All right, class, this is day 22, and today we're talking about universal product codes and how to determine if a code is valid or invalid. Here's an example of a product code, and we're going to determine if that is valid or not. Here's the process. You multiply the first digit by 3, then you would add the second digit as it is, then you multiply the third digit by 3, and then you add the fourth digit as it is, and then you continue the process until the final 12 digits have been processed. All right, so again, this is a better look at what we're doing. A1 represents the first digit. That gets multiplied by 3. Then you add the second digit, and then the third digit gets multiplied by 3. Then you add the fourth digit. Then the fifth digit gets multiplied by 3. Then you add the sixth digit, and so on. All right, what you're looking for is you're looking for the final result when you add all of this up. Okay, when you add all of it up, does it end in a 0? Does the result end in a 0? So let's take a look at number 1. It says, show that this number is a valid UPC number. Okay, so let's reveal the process as we said before. So what is the first digit? The first digit is a 0, and that gets multiplied by 3. So that's 3 times 0. What's the second digit? That's 5. So you add the 5 as it is here. What's the third digit? That's an 8. So you multiply that by 3. 3 times 8. What's the next digit? It's a 2. So you add it as it is. What's the next digit? It's a 0. And that gets multiplied by 3 here. What's the next digit? There's another 0. And you add that as it is. The next digit is a 4. And that gets multiplied by 3. And so on. You just repeat the process until you get to the end. You put all of this in your calculator, add it up, and your result is 100. And guess what? 100 ends in a 0. So what does that mean? It means that this is a valid UPC number, okay, because it ends with a 0. All right, number 2 says show that this number is invalid, okay? So how do we show that it's invalid? Well, we would repeat the same process that we did up here. Multiplying the first digit by 3, then adding the next one, and so on. And if the result, when you add everything up, if it does not end in a 0, then that means it is invalid. All right, so let's take it out. Let's check it out. What is the first digit? That's 0, so that gets multiplied by 3. What's the second digit? 5, so you add the 5 as it is. The next digit is a 2, and that gets multiplied by 3. The next digit is a 2, and that gets added as it is. The next digit is a 0, that gets multiplied by 3, and so on. You just repeat the process till we get all the way to the end. You'll put all of this in the calculator and add it up. And what is your result? There it is, it's 82. Well, 82 does not end in a 0. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this is invalid. Okay, because it does not end in a 0. But now there was a follow-up question. It says, can you tell which digit is incorrect? All right, well, there could be more than one answer. But the way you tell is looking at this number here is an 82, and it should have ended in a 0 in order for it to be valid. Well, that tells you that this is 2 over what it should have been. What should it have been? It should have been 80, right? Should have been 80 because that would end in a 0, but instead it's an 82. So to make the change to make it valid, we would need to decrease the entire sum by 2. The best way to do that is to look for a 2 in the process, and there it is right here. And that came from the second 2 in the actual number. So if we change this 2 to a 0, then the entire sum would only add up to 80, and that would make it valid. So again, changing this 2 right here to a 0 would make it valid. And that's what it says here. Change the second 2 to a 0. All right. Number 3, determine the check digit D for the UPC number with all of these digits, and then you see the little D on the end. So the D is unknown, and they're asking us to find the value of D to make it valid. Okay, so let's start the process. What's the first number? 3, so that gets multiplied by 3. The next number is 8, so that gets added as it is. The next number is a 1, which gets multiplied by 3. The next number is a 3, and that gets added as it is. The next one is a 7, that gets multiplied by 3, and so on and so on and so on. But then the last digit is unknown. It's D, so we have to figure out what it is. So what we do is we add everything that comes before that last digit, and what is that? It adds up to 69. And then we add on the D, and in order for this to be a valid UPC number, what should D equal? Well, we know that the number needs to end in a 0. So all we have to do is add what? Add 1 to 69, because 69 plus 1 would be 70, which ends in a 0. That's exactly what we want. So we're going to let D equal 1 so that the number becomes valid, and that is our answer. All right, I hope this was helpful. Make sure that you have completed this form, and there will be a practice that I will give you later on that you will turn into Canvas. And also, please pay attention to the video, as your next project will have to do with validating ID numbers. All right, see you in class soon.